He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here afterwards. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a special edition, High and Tight, as we get rocking and rolling here. I am Andrew Brown, happy to be with you here as we get to talk about baseball, right? This is the show that covers baseball in the state of Iowa, from the high school, college, even the professional ranks, as we get to go all 360 on baseball in the state of Iowa. As always, please go ahead and like, subscribe, spread the word. And if you get the chance, please help us out. If you get that subscription there, it not only helps us what we do here, but you could also get a subscription to iWrestle as well. All in one, no extra charge, just all in one there for you. Plus, baseball fans get to catch up on all of the content that we put out first, and including some exclusive content you just won't see anywhere else. So rockfin.com is the great way to go through that. rockfin.com/iBaseball. Again, subscribers eat first. They get to check out on all the stuff and have the conversations right away. And then on the other side of it, hey, you can check out a lot of other stuff that we do on YouTube right here, right? The chance for you to go ahead and catch up on everything, and that includes from game broadcasts to video clips and a whole lot more. So I urge you to just check it out today. Again, rockfin.com/iabaseball. And if you get the chance to head on over to YouTube as well. And again, as we keep rolling along, as I get that typed here, the Rockfin right here is, if you want to go ahead and check it out, Rockfin, ROKFIN.com/iBaseball. Also, head to IA Sports YouTube with a Z at the end. That's where you can always catch up on a lot of game broadcasts and more. And again, it's a lot of fun. So check that out today. Speaking of fun, there is a lot going on in the world of baseball. Right now, high school baseball in Iowa, we're gearing up for the postseason coming on up shortly, but there's also move on the collegiate front, and we get the chance to dive into the Loras college baseball team. The Jayhawks getting the chance to, they've done a lot of great things, right? It's been great here. We've had our hat here. You've seen it every single week. Love the purple on there. I am a Packer fan, but this is a different side of things. The purple I will like here in this case. But in the end, Loras has been absolutely a strong team. We've seen them make some big strides and face some great teams, come out on top on some of those wins, right? So it's been really fun to watch them go through. We've had a couple guys on the show, including a couple years ago, Luke Fenley, who we'll talk about here later. But the big reason why we're bringing up Loras here is because there is a new full-time, full-fledged member of the Loras staff. He's been there, right? So it's not like there's a lot of change in personnel, but it's the one and only. We'll bring him on here, Coach Aidan Wojiciehowski, Coach Woj, as he is famously known. And we're going to talk about him as he is now full-time assistant head coach, and rightfully so. We bring him on right here and right now. And Coach, I want to say congrats, man, first and foremost. Thanks for coming on. And again, congrats on the big jump.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate what IA baseball does and it does for the game. It highlights not only the high school realm, but the college realm. And excited to talk about Loras. Like you said,
Yeah.
I've been there as the assistant coach and now as the associate head coach. Really excited to talk about the program and just talk some baseball.
Oh man, and first and foremost here, I gotta say I love how Loris is always integrated everywhere. We just got the chance to catch Assumption North Scott earlier in the week, and I caught you there, and it was really cool to meet up, man. And one of the things is, Loras always seems to be at a lot of different games, man. And you obviously were there. We talk about Fenley and Assumption grad as well, right? And so there he comes. He's a big example of the reach that you guys have all across the state. So a lot to talk about here. But first and foremost, I do want to talk about the move up to associate head coach. The fact that you are no longer just an assistant, you're associate head coach. That's a big darn deal to get there in a state of college baseball where, aside from the head coach, it can be somewhat dicey, just the way things are. And in terms of the assistant coaches, how many there are and the reach that they have, you have earned your way up here. And first off, I want to get just your take on getting the bump, because it's a huge bump. In your pursuit of climbing higher and higher, you're going up that ladder one rung at a time. But what does it mean to become and get into this position?
Yeah, it's a big honor, to be a first in Coach T-Bon's career. He's been at Loras for 31 years. To be his first associate head coach is a big deal, and it means a lot to me knowing that he appreciates all that I've done for the program, and being his assistant now for the last 6 years, going into year 7 with him to be promoted to associate head coach. It shows me that what I'm doing is on the right path. And I think in terms of the role changing, not too much changes, right? I
Yeah.
like to bring the energy, be positive, and I think that is going to be heightened now as a little bit of a different role. But really, really thankful for Coach T-Bon and the program, and love Loras baseball. Love wearing the purple and gold. So to be promoted like this is really exciting.
Yeah, and Coach, one thing is with this, there is certainly it's not just the title change, right? I mean, you've done a lot here, so honestly, I don't know to the extent of what changes. I mean, you've had your hands in everything, right? You still get the chance. You're still out there in the new title. You're still out there getting to know the future prospects, getting to know the players, and you're there. Again, I've seen you there. And I've seen you a couple times, but this is the first time I've been able to say hi and finally, finally get a handshake in. But what does that change? I guess, how does the scope change going into now the associate head coach role? And I assume that not too much changes, but there's got to be more than just the title, right?
Well, it's very similar to what I've been doing. So I've been
Yep.
the head recruiting coordinator and assistant coach, and that just gets heightened. And
Yeah.
seeing you, North Scott, that's the home of North Scott legend Cody Sonny, who's
Yeah.
for us and a great player. So getting to see you out there was great. Seeing Cody Sonny out there was awesome. I think this year our focus is Iowa recruiting. We've had a
Yeah.
lot of success in the Chicagoland and Illinois, and we want to keep that traction there. But our focus this summer is to get some of these Iowa guys that are good baseball players. And there's some guys that I'm going to send this clip to that Coach T-Bon in his career with me. I've been here for 7 years recruiting with him. He's more excited about some of these guys in the Iowa recruiting class than I've ever seen him be excited about, and so that gets me excited, right? If a legendary coach is excited like that, man, that's exciting players out there, and we hope to get some of those guys in the Duhawk recruiting class coming up for the class of 2025. So yeah, I guess in terms of the role, nothing too drastic
Yep.
changes. But it's an exciting time to be a Duhawk, and it's an exciting time. Iowa baseball is at its peak. I think there's a ton of talent out there. So to be able to recruit that and just kind of elevate the game from assistant coach to associate head coach is exciting.
Well, and you mentioned a lot of excitement here for the Duhawks, and rightfully so. Of course, if I'm not mistaken here, I have in my notes. We have a lot of things, a lot of guys that have been impactful here. Of course, 25-18 on the year in 2024, and taking a look at this. 25 wins this year, 29 wins in 23, 32 wins, the most in school history, I believe, if I have that right, back in 2022 and 2021, 25 wins. I mean, are you look at that 25, 32, 20? I mean, you're winning and you're not losing a ton. That's I mean, again, kudos to Coach Tebron and what you and him do for what is a really solid program. But I think it brings a lot of light to what we're at in college baseball, where it's not only the D1 side of things. It is far, far more than that. You've constantly put up 20 plus wins almost. I don't know. I'd have to go. I only went the last, I don't know, handful of years, but I bet you go way back than that. I figure you'd have to go at least 10, 15 years to find a season that didn't have 20 wins.
Yeah, I think the last 4 years being 25 or more wins shows where the program is and where it's headed. The two guys that graduated in this last class, they have the most wins in Loras baseball history. Their record over the last 4 years is 111 and 64. And
Woo!
you look at it from an MLB season. That's a good season those guys had, and those
Yeah.
two seniors left their mark. Daniel Rogers and Nick DiBenedetto. They each had 20 doubles, and we were fifth in the nation in doubles per game this year. And I think those two had their fingerprints all over that. And to lose those two guys is going to be tough to replace. But man, did they change the program, and they left it in a really great spot for the next guys to pick it up and hopefully elevate it.
Well, and you mentioned those guys. Certainly, Rogers. I don't know how it's almost unfathomable to think that within a program like Loras that records would be broken like that. But 72 hits? Are you kidding me, Coach? Is that like at least five a game? I mean, honestly, the way I know it's not, but the way you bear it out. I mean, I think you think you'd be able to count on your hand a time that which he had two hits or less or one hit or less. Honestly, the way it goes, that is huge. You look at the grand scheme of what Loras has had. I mean, there's been a lot of good players. How tough is it? I can sit here and ooh and ah, but from your perspective, how tough is it to hit just 70 hits? I mean, get to 60 hits. I mean, it's got to be one of the toughest things to do, and yet he's managed to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what Rogers was able to do. To be a first team All American is pretty special. To be the best at your position by a vote from coaches that know the game is really special for him. And the last couple of years we've set the doubles record, the single season doubles record, the last 3 years. And he was one, and then 2 years ago, Max McCallum, our center fielder, set the hits record for Loras a single season at 69. And then Rogers came in this year and said, "Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna have 72." And when you play a 40 game season, when you think about it, 72 hits in a 40 game season plus
That
postseason. But it's an amazing what he was. I think he hit 444 on the year and he had an
yeah.
unbelievable season.
I mean, it in today's game, college. I mean, high school, it's more routine to see the 444s, right? But college, you got dudes constantly on the mound, dudes who are dudes at their own high school, right? You're not getting guys that are just squeaking in, man. I mean, they're touching up 95. They're going as far as they can. I mean, it is certainly that is an impressive mark. And again, just the caliber of players that Loras brings, obviously, him. But the one thing is, I did want to touch up on him a little bit more because not only, as you mentioned, first team All American, but I always loved the Loras Iowa Hawkeye matchup. And we're looking to see if that continues on next year. It looks like it will, but it'll still be with Rogers involved. Just a little bit different uniform here, Coach.
Yeah, Rogers gets the opportunity next year to play for the Hawkeyes. He's using his COVID year of eligibility, that fifth year, to go play for Coach Heller and the Hawkeyes organization. And those guys do it right. Coach T-Bon and Coach Heller are friends dating back to when Coach Heller coached in the same conference as Coach T-Bon with Upper Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that program does it great. And to see Daniel go over there and be able to play for the Hawkeyes. It'll be interesting if we do get the opportunity to play them, which hopefully we will,
Yeah.
to see him in the other dugout. The last 4 years he's been repping the purple and gold. He's changing out the purple for black and gold, and that'll be exciting to play against those guys. And I got to shout out Ryan Coaster. He's a guy that played for us. He played with me,
Nice.
graduated in 2018. he's the baseball strength coach for the Hawkeyes. And
Oh
so
yeah. What a
there's a
small
lot
world,
of
coach.
yeah, a lot of connections between the Hawkeyes and the Dewhawks, and yeah, Daniel did it right. You know, in the world of the transfer portal, you know, there's people that are leaving and coming into each program, and
Mm,
it's kind of the wild west in college baseball a little bit.
yeah.
But Daniel played 4 years for us. He had the hits record, he had the single season hits record, he had the doubles record. You know, he did everything for our program, left it in a better place. And so for him to get this opportunity to go play some Big Ten baseball for the Hawkeyes, you know, couldn't happen to a better person, and we're really excited for him to get that opportunity.
Yeah, man. And it's really cool to see that. And again, I think I get coach, going and, betting on yourself and entering the transfer portal, but man, it really does show a lot when you show the commitment that you initially did. And plus, great things can happen, right? Again, 72 hits in a 40 game season. That's, I still got to wrap my head around that because that does mean that a lot of things are working well. And it's not just been Mr. Rogers. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have come through. And coach, I know you can already think about 20 to 30, 40 guys that have really made big impacts. But a couple other guys that I really that we've had on, and Luke Fenley, he's had some good times away from Loras here, getting the chance to do a lot of good things. Assumption grad, and I believe a player of the year for Loras. You kind of talk about him, and then another guy that you mentioned that I really want to touch up on, Tyler Tamaka. Those guys are in professional baseball. They're doing some great things as well. And it's not just what you do here at Loras, but Loras really seems to prep you. And these guys are doing a great job at the next level.
Yeah, well, Luke Fenley, what a special year he had when he was Player of the Year.
Yes.
I still hear his walk up song now on my Spotify playlist, and I kind of get chills. I'm like, all right, he's about to hit a double or a home run. So no, Luke had a great. He's still playing. He's out in the Pioneer League in
Yep.
Billings, and was a great player for us, a great player for Assumption, and a
Mhm.
testament to what Iowa baseball can be at the next level. And then Tyler Tamaka, he played with me. He had a chance to play, a couple different independent leagues. Schaumburg Boomers was one that he played for, and
Yep.
he's coming it up. But our belief in our program, and we tell guys this when we recruit them, where you're at when you come in, we want to help elevate that to a Division I or professional level baseball player. And what
Mhm.
you do with that is kind of up to you. You see Rogers
Yeah.
going to use it this year. Fenley and Tamaka had a chance to do that. We had a guy by the name of Ethan Peters. He was our closer a couple years ago, and he led the nation in saves.
Yeah.
And he came in as a lefty. He was throwing 80 to 81. And by the time he graduated, he was topping out at 92, 93 from the left side. And
Ooh.
yeah, and led the nation in saves, and that was a special season for him. And so that's where our program is. We want to develop guys with our strength program. Coach Edwards does a great job. He's our full time strength coach for the baseball team, and
Uh-huh.
then our nutrition program, throwing program, hitting program. We want guys to come in, develop. And we talked a little bit about the transfer portal. We want guys to stick around. Our culture is set where it's a fun team to be on. It's a great group of talent, but a great group of people. And so we
Mhm.
want guys to buy into that and spend their 4 years in our program and develop and grow. And it's more fun to develop on the field than it is to develop in a redshirt year or something like that. So that's kind of our recruiting pitch is, hey, come be a part of a special program. It's in a great place and develop by getting some opportunities on the field and come compete with us. And man, you have a great 4 year career once you're done. And I think
Mhm.
all of our guys that graduate from us would definitely say that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. A really good atmosphere, a lot of good times with Loras, and it doesn't matter where. The Dewhawks travel strong. Great community that follows. It's
Yeah.
always nice, and again, it's always nice to see in a D1 stadium like at Iowa. You get a lot of purple peppered in there, and it's really really cool to see that. But again, Coach, as we sit here, the program is at an all time high. You continually put out guys like you mentioned year in and year out that either hit the record, break the record, and you guys continue to hit wins totals as well. But again, as it sits right now, the state of college baseball, man, the transfer portal's got a lot going on, doesn't it? And it's not just that, but there seems to be nowadays, as compared to maybe even 10 years ago, there's so many ways for high schoolers to be noticed here. But I don't know if that muddies up the waters a little bit because, from social media to all these programs, club teams. I mean, certainly there's a lot of, I had the conversation a while back with somebody and they go, man, it must be so easy. But then again, you're getting so many more guys now. It's not just one or two that stand out that you see at a game. I mean, you get guys that really, in Iowa especially, just continue to pop out and have put up some really good numbers. How tricky is it to navigate not just the transfer portal, but all the players that you must be able to see now? I mean, it's just as a recruiting coordinator, there's your job certainly can never be dull, right? There's certainly got to be a lot of excitement to it.
Yeah, well, I think with transfers, our program, we want to make sure we're bringing in the right guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, talent is a big piece of that, but it's got to be a right culture fit. And so
Hmm.
most of our transfers are connections with guys on our team. Maybe they played with them on summer ball or they played with them in high school. And so that's where we've found the success in our
Okay.
transfers that have come in. And I've found, with the transfer portal, there's a lot of negativity surrounding the transfer portal.
Uh huh.
How I do it is, guys that are coming into your program are leaving their program for a certain reason. And when they come to your program, some of the things that we do in our program, they're really appreciative of that, right? Because they might not have had that at their last program. And
Yep.
that can provide some interesting insight for the guys that are currently in the program where, hey, things are pretty good, right? Things are pretty good in our program.
Yeah.
And for a high school guy trying to get recruited, yeah, it's my inbox is loaded every day. Right? There's emails and videos and all that. I think my best advice to a high school junior, sophomore, senior that's trying to get recruited, send a video, whether it's PBR, perfect game, or just a video that you make. Say a personalized email goes a long way.
Hmm.
A lot of these guys have an email that's clearly sent out to 200, 300 coaches. And sometimes you don't get to all those as a recruiting coordinator. But if a
Yep.
guy sends me a personalized email and says, hey, Coach Woj, I saw your interview with IA Baseball, right? And I think it'd be a great fit. I like your major. I like the program. Here's my video. Can you let me know what you think? Man, that's a lot higher percentage chance that you're going to get a response from a coach. And cast a wide net is my biggest advice, and
Yep.
see what's out there, and give yourself a lot of different schools to put on the list.
Yeah. Well, man. Again, not every single day for you has to be that inbox. I can only imagine. Gosh, a lot of things in there, and a lot of what's going on with Loras is just so exciting. And again, I love the facilities. I love everything there, and the fact is, you guys have a lot of that to offer. A lot of that, personalized from the strength training all the way up into, again, as you mentioned now, several players having reached higher heights than they ever did coming into it, which does speak volumes. I mean, in the end, the goal is to improve, right? The goal is to continually improve. And obviously, you guys do that here as well. But again, Coach Woj, and by the way, I will say, love it. There are some names out there that I like, but I love the fact that I love Coach Woj. That's absolutely stellar. I mean, and again, one of the things for you is that you have not just stopped. Not it's not just with the name, but you have gone all over the board. And I want to talk about your time in where you've been, because for me, I'm a big believer in experience. What have you experienced in life that as we talk now gives you validation? And you have a lot of validation under you as I bring up things that you've done, including head coach of Palm Springs Collegiate League. And I keep seeing every year at the point. I love to see it. I love to see you. I mean, you're out there enjoying better weather than us half the time. and I get a little bit jealous, but it's okay. I'll live. But in the end, you've done that. You've spent a year doing at the summer camp for the Milwaukee Brewers and the Northwoods League here. First off, I did want to touch up on the Palm Springs Collegiate League. How one, it's again, you go from Iowa to Palm Springs, kind of a little bit of a different travel. How did that come about, and how impactful has that experience been for you?
Yeah, I was looking for some head coaching experience and to be able to lead my own team. And
Mm,
the Palm Springs Collegiate League (PSCL) was a really fun opportunity. It's about a month and a half down in California in Palm Springs, and had
yeah.
guys all over. We had a guy from Australia on our team.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. So it was guys from probably 10 or 11 different states, Australia, and it was about a month and a half league, and we navigated all the way through to the championship game and ended up coming up short in the championship game. But our one of our transfers was Austin Sheldon, who played for me in the Palm Springs League, and now
Yeah.
he's all from Washington, and he transferred to Dubuque and to Loras, and he's pitched for us. So last year had a good year for us, and really excited for him going into his senior year. But that was a connection that I created down in the Palm Spring League, and it was funny. I think I was one of maybe 25% of the team that only could speak English. Most of the guys had multiple languages, and
Yeah.
it was guys from all over the nation, and to connect and create friendships and relationships with those guys
Yeah.
was really fun. And then yeah, I've had experience with the Brewers summer camps, and got a
Yeah.
chance to go to American Family Field and do a clinic there, which on the Brewers field, which was pretty cool. I was out in the bullpen, which was fun. And then in the Northwoods League, I played 2 summers there, and then was a volunteer pitching coach for a summer with the Lakeshore Chinooks, and love the Northwoods League. It's a fun opportunity for
Yeah.
guys, and to be a teammate with Owen Miller, who's a Brewer
Yeah.
now. And just be with some guys that were pretty good baseball players was a great experience for me as a player, but then as a coach as well.
Oh man, and I love the experience train because a lot of these guys are gonna go, okay, our Duhawk season over. I'm not done with college. I got to find something else to do. What's next? And to get into and to have someone who knows the ins and outs of the Northwoods League to as a player and a coach, I think that does speak volumes. When you get to that point, I know that freshmen coming in may not always be aware. I mean, I think they know that there are summer collegiate leagues, stuff like that. But how do you navigate a freshman coming on into the program and kind of saying, okay, it's not just the season with us that you need to worry about. You also have to think about continuing on your play. How do you navigate that? What's the conversation like when you bring that up? Because everybody's a little bit different in the end.
Yeah. Well, we've got a great resource right in our backyard. We've got guys that play for Cascade, that play for Epworth and Farley. I mean, Jackson Cullen was an all-conference guy for us, and Alex
Yeah.
Sandoval is our shortstop from Central Lee, and he's playing for Farley. And then Justin Gutierrez is in that league. John Cornelius, a Dubuque
Yeah.
Hempstead guy, is lighting it up for Epworth. So that's a great resource. And we tell guys the best months to play baseball are June, July, and August, right? And that's Iowa's got it right. They're the only state that's got it right where you can play high school ball in the summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but for our college guys, that's the best time to get innings, and so that league is great. We've got guys in the Dairy League, we've got guys in the Northwoods League. A great league is the Independence League out in South Dakota. And Daniel Rogers played out there. Trevor Seagraves is our second baseman last year. He played out there. Austin Sheldon, who I mentioned, played there last summer. And Vince Polizzi is out there right now, and he plays for the Oahe Zap, and he set the single season home run record already, and they're just at the halfway point. So getting some good at bats. Caden Shivers is a guy on our team from Texas who's going to go play in that Independence League. And then there's guys I see on Twitter that's part of my summer, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot of recruiting, it's a lot of visits, but it's checking in on guys. Adam Williamson's lighting it up in his league. There's there's guys, Vince McDowell, Colin Kassane, Patrick Hayes, Brendan Arnold. They're all lighting it up. And then a guy by the name of Aidan O'Hara. He has a chance to be one of the most electric arms at our level, and he's doing good things in the summer ball. And that's one where, in the summer you can get a lot of at bats, you can get a
Yep.
lot of things, and you can come back and be a totally different player for us. And that's
Mm.
what we're expecting. The guy we saw last year was Jack Carney with the Palos Marlins. He had a ton
Yes.
of bats and played a great outfield for us this year, and was another lefty swing in the lineup that added a lot of depth in the team. And I think it was a large part because of all the at bats he got in the summer.
Yeah. And again, lots of connections. Loras does provide a lot of that. So, and I love that you have so many guys across so many leagues. Again, it just provides it's the variety you get to choose, find what's right for you, and what's not to like about that. When you have more options, always a little bit better. But Coach, as we continue on, I've asked some serious questions. Now I have to ask some even more serious, heavy hitting questions. So we'll kind of do this a little bit in a rapid fire mix, but I got to ask some big questions,
Yeah.
including we've seen a lot of fields go around here turn into turf fields, but if it was just the normal grass field, there's always the debate: seeds versus gum. Where do you lie in that conversation?
When I was a player, it was 3 pieces of watermelon, the brand extra gum. I had to have 3 pieces,
Three
right? So
pieces.
I would say gum as a player, but as a coach, it's definitely sunflower seeds. And Coach Perkle, he's the defensive coordinator for Hempstead and coached at Hempstead baseball for a long time. He would bring all sorts of different flavors of seeds. So I'm a seeds guy now. Yeah.
I was just about to ask that too. Do you mix up the variety? What's the big go-to flavor?
Oh, you know what? A couple guys on our team this year, they mixed Sour Patch, watermelon Sour Patch candy with the sunflower seeds. And
Whoa.
they're like, "Coach, you got to try this." And I'm no way I'm trying that. But eventually they convinced me, and it was pretty good. So any combination, the home mixed brews that our guys do, I think of seeds are pretty fun.
All right. Well, ask them to try a lot more varieties. I want to see what I want to check that out as I go from games to game as well. I want so dive into that think tank a little more here too.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a tweet. We'll put a tweet out of our top five combinations of sunflower seed. Yeah, good idea.
Yes, love that. We should make a segment out of it. What can we drum up next? I
Yeah, there
love
you go.
that. And then, Coach, I know that obviously there's different styles, different ways to go about this, but when it comes to the baseball pants, we see the highs, we see the lows, we see the stirrups, we've seen it all. I know that you've had many different hats from player to coach. Where do you lie? Do you like them up, like them down? I know you have a preference.
Yeah, as a coach, my preference is that everybody's the same.
Yeah.
So if we're doing short pants, then the whole team should be in short pants. If we're doing long, then the whole team's in long. And as a pitching coach, I like for the starting pitcher to decide. So whatever the starting pitcher wants. I was always a long pants guy. Our coaching staff always wears long pants, even if our guys are wearing the short pants. So I'm more of a long pants guy, but I like the look of the short pants.
Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I still got to ask: do you prefer the day or the night game?
Definitely a night game. Yeah, Petracas Park underneath the lights. Maybe hit a home run out into the Mississippi River. That's a pretty cool setting. So definitely the night game. Yeah,
And then, what's the most dangerous pitch in baseball?
change up. Yep. If you got a change up that can keep guys off balance, yeah, that's deadly. Yeah.
And this game is rooted in tradition, coach, but also in superstition. Have you noticed some real crazy superstitions out there, whether you've crossed your playing days, coaching days, and beyond? Has there been anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, we had a guy, Bill Luzzo. He's a honorable mention all conference right fielder. We wear purple belts at
Yeah.
Loras. He had a great day in a yellow belt in one of our scrimmages. And so he would wear the yellow belt underneath his purple belt. And it was a superstition for me. He wore two belts, and it worked for him. He had a great senior year, and one of my good friends now. So that's probably the craziest superstition that I've ever seen.
Oh, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Keep rolling with it. And then also as well, I'm a big food guy. You know, we didn't get the segment in this year, but we love to normally do our concession stand conversations, dive into some food related talk. But I got to ask, if you get the rare day where you're not, again, busy out there doing great things for Loras, and somehow you get a day off, and you get to go to the ballpark, any ballpark at that, what's the go-to food? Not necessarily meal, but what's the go-to ballpark food for you?
Yeah, that's great. Ballpark food, I'd have to say I'm a sucker for the souvenir ice cream helmet. I love those. I'm trying to get to all 30 stadiums, and I always
Yeah.
pick a souvenir ice cream. So that. But if you know anything about me, I'm a watermelon connoisseur.
Ooh.
I can teach you how to pick the perfect watermelon. I love me some watermelon, and so I
Okay.
think on a summer day, if I'm out recruiting, I'll bring a little Tupperware of watermelon and love some watermelon. Yeah,
Yeah, I like. Well, hey, I'm gonna have to head on your way then and
there you
find
go.
that perfect watermelon because I'm starting to get into a lot of different summer foods myself. And hey, have you ever grilled watermelon?
I have not a fan, not a
Not a
fan.
fan. I have not yet done that, and I was just about to ask, recommendations on that. So I'm glad that I hopefully may have dodged a bullet here with that.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Also, experiment time. I have seen, well, first off, I got to ask, how many major league stadiums have you been to yet? You talked about getting that souvenir ice cream. How many do you have, and are they all lined up in a row on your shelf somewhere?
They are lined up. Yep. I have been to 15. When
Woo!
I was down in Palm Springs that summer coaching there, got to cross off the Dodgers, which is my favorite stadium I've been to. The Padres, the Angels, and then the Diamondbacks is about a 4 hour drive. So crossed off four stadiums in that one summer. So I'm halfway. I'm at 15.
Nice. I love that. Hey, if we ever get the chance, that'd be a great connection to do someday. Love those. And then, again, going back, experimental time. I have not been actually, I've not actually had this, but a buddy of mine sent me a picture of, I think it was a cricket on a stick. For this, he was in Seattle at a Mariners game, and I've seen all the scorpion and the sucker kind of thing, and it's really just kind of I don't know. Uh, are you going to go as far as to try that? Would you go as far as to get a? I don't know if it's grilled or if it's deep fried, something of that sort. Do you go and try that?
As a coach, my belief is never talk in absolutes, right? I would never do this, never that.
I like.
So I will never say never. But the craziest I think I've had is maybe a deep fried Oreo at the state fair.
Oh,
That's about it. Yeah,
oh, you're getting me hungry, Coach.
yeah.
Getting really hungry here. And then I didn't get the chance, but I would love to try. I mean, condiments, I get pretty picky on at sometimes. I saw that at several major league stadiums there, the cola inspired ketchup
Hmm.
is that I like cola to some degree. I don't drink it a ton, but I don't know. I I like you, I never want to say never to something, but this gets kind of close for me. Do you if you get the chance or you get dared to, do you go ahead and try the cola ketchup and how do you apply it on?
Yeah, I think I would give that a go.
Okay.
I'd give it a try. Fun fact: I'm not a big soda guy either. In 2020, I drank only water for an entire year just to say
No.
on it. So, not a big soda guy, but I think I would try the cola ketchup. I think that's worth a shot. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? The bar is now set high. I've had all these questions, but now I know that I got to start drinking water the whole year. So
There you go. There you go.
I'm all set. All set. But with that, coach, I know we've talked about it a ton. Again, the big thing here is I want to say congrats. again, you mentioned Coach Tebron doesn't have a ton. I mean, over 30 plus years of coaching. Like you mentioned, first time that there's been an associate head coach, and you are that guy. Not only what you're doing now, but bright things ahead. Absolutely love it. And selfishly, I love that you're in Iowa. So I know that a lot of good things are coming here, but it does speak volumes to what you guys are doing there at Loras. And again, just wanted to say again, congrats on such a big promotion up and what it means not just for Loras, but the state of Iowa.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I always say honored and humbled. I like to stay humble, and so I appreciate the opportunity. And a quick plug: we've got Brock Booth. He's a Hempstead guy. He's a great
Yes.
pitcher for Hempstead. He had an injury his first year at Loras, and he's now our director of media operations. And he does a great job with our Twitter account and our Instagram. So give Brock and Loras baseball a follow, and he's gonna ramp up his game this year with more interviews and more spotlights on our guys and on our program. So give us a follow, give Brock a follow. He does a great job, and yeah, really appreciate having me on, and thanks for the praise. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, you deserve it. And again, congrats, Brock. I mean, that's something cool. There's always ways you can love the game without playing. And I absolutely love that. But with Coach Wojciechowski, thanks again, man. Congrats as always. And I'm sure, once again, of all the places we go to, we'll see you there. We usually end up seeing you cross paths. So, again, appreciate the time here as always. And again, congrats. And I hopefully you're going to enjoy some 4th of July activities.
Yeah, no, definitely. Fourth of July is one of my favorite holidays, so definitely, probably maybe that cola ketchup we talked about will be on the list. But no, I appreciate the time. Thanks for all you do for the sport of baseball, and especially in Iowa. I appreciate that, and thanks for the interview. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, as always, look forward to more and look forward to more great stuff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out this, give it a like, subscribe. More depends on when you see it. But until we see each other next time, for Coach Woj and myself, thanks again and stay safe on the base paths.